everyone. In this video, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite topics, and that is essential oils and our emotions. So, before we dive into which oil would be which and all of that, I wanted to just share with you a little premise, a little background to get your head wrapped around where I'm coming from. So, the first thing you can see my diffuser going on over here. The first thing that I want to share with you is that our sense of smell speaks to the portion of our brain that regulates our mood and our emotional responses. So if you went into your home and you smelled a skunk, you're going to have a significantly different emotional response than if you went into your home and you smelled your favorite home cooked meal. Our brain is creating this safety mechanism that tells us how we should feel if we should get into fight or flight. So we are able to choose different essential oils to create a different emotional response within our body. And that's one of the things that I love the most about pairing in essential oils when it comes to our emotional wellness. So when it comes to essential oils and figuring out which essential oil would work best for your emotion that you have going on, it is important to keep in mind that having a strong foundation in your health and wellness is the best way that you can set yourself up for success. So something like the Lifelong Vitality Pack, something like MetaPower, that's going to give you the foundation. All of the rest of the information that I'm going to talk about is just additional things that you can add on. So there's a wheel that you see right in the group, and that wheel shows you the different categories of essential oils. So I'm just going to share that with you real quick and go over the different categories so that you can feel stronger in your ability to make an empowered decision when it comes to using essential oils for whatever it is that you have going on emotionally. So what you'll notice is the category is broken down, or the wheel is broken out into different categories. And so I'm just going to share it with you on my screen so that you can see it and we can be looking at it together. But what you'll notice is the first category is citrus, and I'm going to go around it like it's a clock. So the first category is citrus. Anytime you see a citrus, what I want you to think of is sunshine in a bottle. Citruses are your happy oils. They are uplifting. So if you're feeling gloomy or down in the dumps, going through some depression, you're going to want to add citruses in your routine, whether that's in a diffuser, like the one that's going next to me, you can see, or you can have them in your water. You can be applying them topically. Making a roller bottle is a really easy way, and we're going to get more into that in oil camp, which we'll talk about later, but just planting some of these seeds on how you can easily weave this into your routine. So citruses are your sunshine in a bottle. Spices, think spice up life. So if you maybe are looking for an aphrodisiac or to instill more passion, if you're feeling bored, kind of meh, you're going to want to add in spices. The next category is herbs and grasses. So when I think of this, I think of us standing in a field with really tall grass, and we have to part the grass in order to be able to see in front of us. Well, that's very similar to herbs and grasses. They are the clearing oil. They're going to help you clear whatever emotionally is heavy that you're holding on to. So something like lemongrass or cilantro, those are two of my favorite oils to apply, especially if you're an empath, but add them in the diffuser with something like Serenity and Balance, and I'll talk more specific to those oils in just a second. But you can add those in your diffuser, and then that way, before you go to sleep at night, you're able to, be diffusing something that's going to help you to release the emotional weight that you're holding onto, or you can diffuse it during the day as you're going about your day-to-day routine. Something that's a tree, if you're grieving, or if you're feeling sad, or if you're just feeling flighty and you need to feel more grounded, a tree is going to be the oil that's going to best support that. The one that I cling to most frequently is Balance. I love it, but there's cedar wood, there's spruces and firs, so you can choose whatever tree is feeling the best for you. Then florals, I think of florals as your comforting oil. So think of if you put something inside of that rose, the petals are going to wrap around and give a giant hug. So florals are that comforting oil if you're feeling fearful or worried. And then the last one is mints. Think of mints as your breath of fresh air. So if you're feeling anxious, you're in restrictive feelings, apply some sort of a mint, whether it's peppermint, spearmint, what have you. And then what you'll notice is there is an emotional aromatherapy line that brings together the two categories. So mints and citruses combined is motivate. Citrus and spice combined is cheer. Herbs and spices combined, passion, oil. These are all the oils. Herbs and grasses and trees combined is forgive, console, trees and florals, and then florals and mints is peace. Peace is one of my favorites. But you'll just see that they have those different categories. Now, there are additional essential oils that support your emotions. So it's not just limited to those blends. They have, each individual oil has its emotional benefits as well. So there are great resources that you can use where you can look up the emotional benefit of an oil. So this is a little bit of an outdated guide. There's more recent ones, but this is called Emotions and Essential Oils. It's also in an app. So if I'm trying to figure out what oil is best going to support my body in that given day, I'll pull this book out and it'll tell cassia, for example, is the oil of self-assurance. Cassia brings gladness and courage to the heart and soul. It's a wonderful remedy for the shy and timid. It helps those who hold back and try to hide, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it gives all of that, which is awesome. But then in the back, you can look up and it tells you what oils for different emotions. So worried, going to go through and tell you each of those. So great resource to have on hand. But a quick little one that if you're like trying to figure out, okay, what oils do I want to start with when it comes to emotions? I'll give you 4-ish of my favorite oils. So Balance is usually a crowd favorite. Balance and Serenity combined, people joke and call that liquid Xanax. The two combined come together and are just such a calming blend together. But Balance on its own, that's going to help you with that emotional regulation. So if you feel like you're constantly on this roller coaster, start using some Balance. You can add it in the diffuser, put some on the bottom of your big toe. So your big toe in reflexology pairs with your mindset. So put it on your toe and just get into a routine of doing that. Now, the thing with oils is the more consistently that you're applying it, the better it's going to support your body. So try to get into a routine of doing that multiple times a day, whether it's on your big toe, your chest, wherever you are feeling like you need to use it. Serenity is more of that calming oil. So if you're struggling with sleeping or you're feeling super stressed, Serenity is going to be the oil to best support your body in that regard. Adaptive is another crowd favorite. Adaptive is a great one just for overall anxiousness or kind of that restrictive feeling. If you're feeling down in the dumps, that one is also great, as is Citrus Bliss, which I'll talk about in a second. But Adaptive is usually for the anxiousness. And all of these oils pair wonderfully together. So there's not going to be any explosion that happens when you pair different oils together. They work to really well together. So you could easily do Balance and Citrus Bliss, or Balance and Serenity, or whatever the case may be. So Adaptive is a great one if you struggle with that anxiousness. Now, another one that I love is Citrus Bliss. And Citrus Bliss is a blend of citruses. So again, think sunshine in a bottle. It has a little bit of a hint of vanilla. So it's just a great oil for uplifting. And in there is Wild Orange, which Wild Orange is one of my favorites as like a mental eraser. So if you feel like your chalkboard in your brain is going crazy, Wild Orange is a great one to slow that whiteboard that's just crazy, or blackboard. So those are as far as oils. And then there is something called adaptive soft gels or adaptive capsules. And those have GABA in it, which is basically a supplement that you can take that slows down the mental chatter. So if you really feel like anxiousness is something that you're struggling with, I would suggest trying out those adaptive capsules. There's a lot of different oils that you can use when it comes to emotions, but just keep in mind that it's sometimes figuring out what one's going to work best for you. Follow along with that chart and then reach out to the person that is your oil guru, or make sure you're paying attention to some upcoming things that we have, because we have a lot of education in store for you. But the intention of this is to give you small little snippets. So, all right, I'm going to wrap up for today, or for this video, as far as essential oils and emotions go, and you can jump on to the next video. All right, thanks everyone.